Hey guys, what's up? This is Nick from Neon 80s Gamer right here. I'm here with our second podcast, and this is kind of going to be a different one from the first because our first one was a lot of improv and kind of like trying to figure out what we're doing. So, so for this one, I actually brought along another friend. Uh, so I got me, my best friend Jack, and my friend Joey. So I'm gonna let them talk in a second here. Say hi, guys.
What's bracking?
What's racking, bro?
So, anyways, we're just gonna start right off the bat. If you don't know what these podcasts are about, we talk about like the gaming industry and kind of, well, yeah, that's about it.
Gaming industry, the gaming community, and sometimes if like games just came out, we talk about those. And sometimes we'll just review certain games that don't know how long ago they've been made. We'll decide.
And this we'll do this for about an hour or less if something comes up. So
And
if that does,
honestly, sometimes we'll probably go by like an extra 30 minutes if
any,
we're really going for it.
Uh,
anyways, let's just get started with this. So what are we gonna start with?
Let's start off with something a little bit more lighter. Let's go off with what's the new game? Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
That
okay.
is
Well,
kind of
I feel like I
that's
might be a
interesting.
little relevant to this because I'm the only one that owns the game. So I mean, I could talk about anything you want to talk about it.
Well, that's we're just gonna start off there. Nick, you want to start off?
Well, I haven't done much in-depth research with it. I have seen it. I've like some trailers and stuff,
Yeah, I only seen the E3 gameplay.
and I have
Yeah.
seen like the cover title, and it looks very interesting. Honestly, when I first saw it, I thought, is this gonna be a copy of like Assassin's Creed plus Mario Odyssey?
Yeah, like Origins, because a lot of people they don't get the Assassin's Creed games anymore because they say that they're just copies of the last game, which I can understand because it's like ancient, just like how Origins was. They're both kind of like because when Syndicate, that was more like a city thing, like there's always action around. But with Origins and
Right.
Odyssey, there's a lot more wildlife and just kind of like walking in between your things, like
Well,
your quest to get to.
well, that's the nice thing about Assassin's Creed is that it's a lot of open world and it's very
Yeah,
scenic and very um it like in depth with how you want to pace yourself to play while also like kind of maintaining a story.
yeah. Um, there's also the point of choosing your character because I don't know. I feel like it's actually really good because I guess they both have kind of similar like stories because they both have similar lines. But I think it's like a really good idea because like some people they want to choose what gender they want to play as. And I played as Cassandra because there was this YouTube video and I don't know who it was, but they said why you should play as Cassandra and why she's the best player to play as. Um, yeah, I don't know. I I guess it's just kind of a good thing that you can choose between Alexios or Cassandra.
You guys know about the Alexios like thing from Amazon?
Oh yeah,
A
the
what
Amazon
now?
Alexios.
Alexios.
Yeah, Amazon teamed up with Assassin's Creed and made their own Spartan AI called Alexios.
Yeah,
Oh god.
Alexa. They made Alexa, but it was Alexios. And so every Alexa, you can have it, but you can also buy a special Alexa that has the Alexios like Spartan skin that you can put on your Alexa.
Alexa, play Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
What
Exactly.
you can do is on regular ones, you can say,
Release a
Alexa,
Spartan.
releasing the Spartan, and it'll go into Alexios, and it's super dope.
Yeah, it's really fun. I kind of like that because it just kind of like um, it's just really fun to do.
It's very cool because, like, in gaming, there's not a lot of interactions between games and regular industries.
Yeah,
Like,
like when people like cross, like what they do.
yeah,
And that's the nice thing about like this whole community that we talked about in the last stream is that like it kind of intertwines with everything, and like people can come together, and like suddenly there's something brand new that like took one idea from another.
Yeah, but like as we said on the last podcast, that it can also tear us apart. But
Hmm.
by which you mean whoever chooses to see it like it is, whatever I just said.
Well, it still is kind of nice that that's kind of a creative and mind me, but like half witty, half dumb idea.
Yeah.
I'm because like just I don't know. It kind of seems funny that they made a Spartan Alexa.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of like it gets gamers' attention. Like I feel like it's just kind of it's a thing that it's just a marketing tool because of course, like now people that were gamers that didn't have an Alexa, it gave them another reason to buy an Alexa.
And that's another positive right there. Is that like
So it was
because it's kind of like marketing almost like
company and
Speaking of gaming, let's talk about the best topic in the internet, gamer girls.
though as dumb as that sounds, that lately that's kind of gotten to like it's kind of sexism is a huge thing. Let's just be real here. It's kind
Yeah.
of dumb, and I like
Yeah.
how lately like we can have harmony between like genders when it comes to gaming because people have gotten better about that. And
Yeah.
But actually, go ahead, sorry.
this is just me, but I've never like fully understood like why people discriminate against genders when it comes to
Yeah.
gaming because like I can understand sports and stuff because it's like kind of
Because
I
it's
don't
a
know because it's
difference on what gender you are.
Because it's
Right.
fitness.
but when it comes to video games that just comes down
Yeah,
to
I
like
think
how you process
because
it.
with video games, a girl could be just as good as a boy.
Well, here's what I think the reason of it being discriminatory, and I'm not saying it's a good thing at all, but antisocial dweebs playing a game with a cute sounding girl, what do you think that's going to result in?
I
Well,
mean, like,
And I'm not saying that we should split them apart. No,
yeah,
those people just gotta calm down.
yeah. I mean, I feel like the end goal with this whole thing is that, like, nobody would care, Like, there would be, like, a girl on your team, and you just wouldn't care. Like, you wouldn't even mention it. Like, hey, you're a girl. Like, and the only way for that to be possible is for more girls to start gaming. Like, it to not be such a, um, I don't know, like such a rare thing. Like when you get a girl in your Fortnite lobby, when you're doing random squads, like what if it was like a 50-50 chance? Like 50% were girls and 50% were boys. Like that's kind of like like the end goal is for there to be just no weirdness or abnormality between genders in gaming.
well,
And
that's
it's kind of hard to watch because like, a bunch of like kids be like, "Hey, you're cute," and then like it just gets into this whole problem with you know, but like it just gets into a whole situation where it guys don't know how to treat girls like little boys playing Overwatch. Let's use that as an example. Little kids not learning how to play while also respecting the person that they're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
and that
When you say that, like little boys, I feel like not only do they kind of like not respect they're just trying general. You know, just like people just don't understand that there doesn't have to be some like, oh yeah, get wrecked, kid.
It doesn't have
I
to be
one pumped you. Be called that when you're gaming. You get one pumped, like you're probably already mad. You got one pumped. You don't need someone making fun of you for it. Like games are just supposed to be more
games are
fun.
games.
Yeah, they're supposed to be games, like more fun and less, not fun.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem with people is that like discrimination and toxicity kind of just leads to it not being fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a lot of reasons why people leave games, like why games die, is just because of the fan base, and just like the awfulness of the toxicity.
I
Like,
think we can put like a few examples up there, like Undertale.
yeah, Undertale died because of the just fan base.
but
and how it just
it's
got,
coming back. It's
Yeah.
coming back.
Oh yeah, Undertale memes are definitely coming back. Like you see them all over the internet this past few months.
But-
month.
The even behind that, we can say Five Nights at Freddy's. That used to be a super big game,
Yeah.
And that slowly just went down a hill.
because there was the whole like fan animations that were really really awful.
Well,
yeah,
the,
or like
well,
shipping. My God, I absolutely hate shipping in video games.
well,
Like it's supposed
I
to be.
honestly agree.
it's-
I can accept it if you're not
if
taking
it's-
it
Yeah, if you're not taking it too far, like people
Like,
draw
really
some
weird
really
stuff.
explicit things about video games. Like that's just so. That's just such a ugh. Like it just makes you think about those characters in a different way when you see all this fan art and stuff and this or like what is it, fan fictions.
I called deviant art the forbidden fruit of gaming.
That's a good phrase.
well, when it comes to FNAF, that game might have had a couple reasons more than just the fan base. It was also that games were eventually just being spammed at us.
Yeah.
But like some fan games were really nice. Like what's an example? that I
Well,
can
it wasn't even fan games. It was like mainstream story games.
hmm I mean, I'm not trying to like at anyone, but I never really did like FNAF because my sister and I would always like there's like horror games, but FNAF is just kind of like dry horror. Like it's trying to milk every jump scare that it can. When you have things like Amnesia, where it's like it actually has a story, like a good storyline the entire game, and not just jump scares the entire game.
Well,
like Resident Evil. Resident
Yeah,
Evil
like
was
Resident
a really
Evil.
good game.
well, those were
Yeah,
more.
it's so
Those
good.
games were more like story heavy. When it comes to FNAF, it was kind of like a strategy game.
Well, FNAF was
Well,
more
I feel
not
like-
story heavy, but it was a bit more like lore
Yeah.
heavy.
Which I don't know. I just kind of feel like the story horror games are just the best games, like the best horror games. Like I don't know. There are some that
Like-
prove me wrong.
Like
There-
Walking Dead and stuff.
Yeah, there are some games that aren't like story games that are horror games that are definitely still good. I'll give you that. But like it's just kind of like it's just a better, more
Like,
developed game when they have an actual storyline.
Like Tattletale. You guys remember Tattletale?
Yeah.
Tattletale. Oh yeah, the Furby monstrosity.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I actually played it. It was bomb, dude.
I never played it.
Well, that game kind of like took elements from FNAF and then like put I wouldn't say overworld, but kind of like a kind of a sandbox for you to mess with.
Yeah, it's got like a creative game, you know, one that you could just kind of like be in your own world. Is it?
Well,
Tattletale?
that wasn't really
That's
like
what
a game where you could be in your own world, but it was a game where you could like explore the house that you were in.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it's
Or isn't it like what I mean is like a game that you could just kind of like do whatever you want in, you know?
like
Like you're not restricted to do something.
a sandbox.
Yeah.
Well, that game was that game kind of was like I don't know how to explain it, but like I wouldn't say it was
very
I-
one and done type game.
yeah.
Very quick game.
Yeah, it was you beat the game, now you're done with it.
hmm one of those games that you wouldn't really go back and play. Like with Detroit,
Like,
there's multiple routes that you can take and multiple reasons why to play it again. Or like storyline horror games, like you might want to play it just because it's like fun. Like PewDiePie, he's going back to Amnesia, and that's really fun because
And
I watched his Amnesia playthroughs way back in 2012.
yeah, and actually, Markiplier did an Amnesia stream just yesterday, and I thought that was
Yeah,
kind of
like
cool because
Amnesia's coming back.
Am-
It's because Hard Mode came back.
and the thing with Mark's reason might be just that Amnesia was the video game series that literally made his channel popular when he got like a 500 subscriber boost from it.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely PewDiePie because that was his first. That was kind of how he blew up with his whole Amnesia thing. Like, that was how he got into the whole horror genre. Like, that was the first game, and then he was known as the horror game player, YouTuber.
And he went to commentary.
Though,
Yeah, and
Though-
then he went to Lawai, and
Though-
you laugh, you lose. In the celebrated rose.
though, let's be real here. Markiplier's freaking donation notifications scare him more than the actual jump scares.
I
never
watch,
watched. I
yeah.
never watched.
They aren't even that loud, and he'll like jump at them and be like, "Oh, thank you."
But what's another thing? Speaking of YouTube, I think we should talk about the algorithm.
What the trending algorithm? The
Trending algorithm. Let's
the demonetized algorithm.
both.
Demonetized algorithm. That changes,
who
but
gets
that
demonetized
that
and who doesn't.
changes between YouTubers. Like I said this in the last podcast, Jacksepticeye could like start cursing the heck out of his videos and like wouldn't even
Yeah.
get looked at. But PewDiePie says so much as
Says darn heck, and he's demonetized.
yeah.
Exactly. I used to watch Jacksepticeye, and every time he would die, he would go, whoa! Like, you just do the F-bomb, like, scream it in this house. But then, that's why people like PewDiePie and Pyrocynical have to say game end, and because they can't even say kill, because it's such a family friendly site now. Like, they don't want to offend anyone or anyone to get a bad word or like learn a bad word.
Well,
We just talked about
that's
when,
the problem with this generation and this day and age. It's like if anything just slightly goes wrong, then it's
And everyone
just
has
an
to complain
explosion.
about it. Everyone has to oh.
Can we just talk about how the owner of YouTube, Miss Kalinowski, went to a Little Uzi Vert concert?
I never heard about that. What's that?
Little Uzi is one of the rappers. It's a
Oh.
rapper, and it's so funny. But can we just diversity on YouTube is a even larger thing because like the fact that since you can't say what you want and express yourself like that,
Yeah, only
You-
only big YouTubers can express themselves. Like that whole
because even if they got demonetized, they can still get sponsors and stuff.
there was I saw this one YouTube video, and it was Scarce. He made a video on that one person who was who were they? They were a porn star, and and then they accidentally left their stream on, and they did the very not good stuff. And Scarce took the video and he edited, so he put a banjo over like the stuff going on, and then he put it in his YouTube channel, and he was like, yeah, like this is kind of the news. And then two other smaller YouTubers took that clip that he created and they put it in their YouTube video, and they even said like in their YouTube videos they were like, hey, Scarce made this, but like this is basically like the clip. And Scarce, because he was a bigger YouTuber, he did not get demonetized. He got full ad revenue. Like he got literally everything. But the other smaller YouTubers that used Scarce's clip, like the exact same clip, they got demonetized and age restricted and all that stuff.
Well-
it was just like, and it made people really mad. Like people were like mad at YouTube just because like Logan Paul thing. Like he didn't get demonetized even though he showed a dead body. I know
And
that's kind of going
actually,
back to last year, but
it is a last year thing or beginning year thing, but on that video, there was a not a moderator, a there wasn't a moderator, it was a no, it was someone from YouTube that like looks at reported demonetizable videos, and one of them was look he like it was a person that actually like straight up reviewed it, like they looked at it and they approved of it as monetization.
someone that works for YouTube.
Yeah, like it wasn't a bot, it was a worker.
There was the YouTube video of the person like that approved of it.
No, but it if you went to the video, it said personally viewed and monetized, and those
Yeah.
someone viewed it and was like, "Yep, it's good."
Well,
Which is just so
that's a
ridiculous.
really dumb. That monetization has kind of gotten like, I'd say, kind of dumb. Like, monetization versus demonetization, because like stupid things like that get like monetized, but like going to
You
one of
know,
my
someone
going
saying,
going to one of
"Darn
my
heck," and then they get demonetized.
going to one of my YouTube videos. If you watch those, please don't. Uh, if you have watched the video, Kirby gets a bit too hungry. Like, I got demonetized just because I had music from Nintendo in there. I don't even have monetization, and yet Nintendo started making money off of the video that I wasn't making money off of. Which I think that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
If you aren't
Like, that's
making money
so
off of a
stupid.
video, no one else has the right to be making money off of it either.
And like kind of like how the whole thing that people talked about how if you use a 1 second clip of something in your video, then someone else the owner of that clip, even though it's only 1 second, they can claim monetization for the full video.
Yeah, what's
Like-
his you guys know the person that made This Is America 2, right?
Yeah, Flying Kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flying Kitty.
He got
That-
demonetized for having
that-
Despacito in there.
Not demonetized, he got flagged because
Oh,
had
it was even
Despacito-
flagged.
Not flagged.
Yeah,
Not
But
reported.
he had 5 seconds of Despacito in there. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense that he got demonetized by the original This Is America, but like Louis Fonsi and stuff, like they should not be able to like demonetize someone just for having a really small clip of a song that they made.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand if it's like there are no sources given, or if there's like a lot of controversy over if it's for like a longer period of time, but like it's like almost immediately after having had that posted, it got demonetized for that.
Yeah, like PewDiePie. I usually go to him because I watch him, but he made the video where he sang Despacito like on his guitar because it was heavily requested, and he got demonetized from like Louis Fonsi, like took down his video, or not took down, but he got demonetized just because at the beginning of the video, like for the intro, he sang the Despacito thing, only like a few lines. But then, like, he talked about it in a later video. Like, I'm not even showing it. Like, that's even what a lot of people do, is that instead of showing the music, they sing it like themselves, and it's kind of like another thing, like a meme. Like, it's a way for them to be fun. But like, even then, like, people have actually gotten demonetized just because they sing instead of showing the music clip. Like, how much do you want?
Well,
You really-
that's another dumb thing. It's that people are greedy for money over a site
Exactly.
that's about recording things
if
that you
they-
like and posting them to an audience.
Like, if they can demonetize them and get money, then
They
they
will.
Like, they just don't care about the YouTubers getting money, or just like them making their own creative stuff. But if you used if you showed like a clip from the video that you own for 1 second, nope, you get all the video's ad revenue. But like, what? Here's a thought. What if the amount of time that can be copyrighted in the video, say like there's like 10 copyright seconds and it's a 10-minute video because you gotta get that triple ad revenue. But say like in 10 seconds you just divide the amount of money by the amount of time demonetized by the total amount of time, and that's how much money you get. Like that would be just really a funny troll to do on the YouTubers, or not YouTubers, the people that demonetize.
Well, the thing with the demonetizing people is that they already have a bunch of money. That's why they
Yeah,
get to
like
make
Louis Fonzi.
say a music
He's made
video.
billions
Yeah.
off of that.
Like
Like,
you
he-
realize that for some reason, I don't know why, but when people make a YouTube video and they like the YouTube video, they like subscribe to the person. So Louis Fonzi, he never uploads. He literally just uploaded the Despacito video, like that's on his account, and he has like 20 million subscribers. He has more than like I think Sniper Wolf, she has like 20, and like some really really good creators have less than that, but he has 20 million subscribers just because he made it. And whenever he does make a video, of course it gets brought up to the people that are subscribed to him. They might watch a few seconds and he gets freaking
He gets a good amount of money
and of
just
course
for
you know
3 seconds.
Yeah, and
it's
that's
the
the
most
and
viewed
that's kind
video
of
on YouTube, and per view you get like I don't know how much, but Louis Fonzi's obviously got a lot
that's
of money.
that's kind of another thing that I don't like about monetization. It's that like once you get popular, it's like suddenly you are popular and you're kind of stuck like that. Like I'm broke. Let's face it. That's why I'm doing these low quality podcasts.
You suddenly became self-aware.
But yeah, it's kind of like, and I understand why there is limits on monetization, but I think they shouldn't be so strict because it's like 1,000 subscribers, that makes sense, but 40,000 views within the last month. Wait, is it month or
Yeah.
year?
It's months.
Yeah, that's kind of like, let's face it, that's kind of difficult to get unless you like hit a jackpot, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, Joey can see what I pulled up, but like you can't. But next thing I want to talk about is the whole PewDiePie and T Series thing, 'cause that's been on my mind all day. So
Oh God.
I'm going
That-
to a live feed right now, and
Don't-
PewDiePie is just
Don't let any of it get on the stream. We don't need to be demonetized right now.
yeah. No, I'm not pulling. I'm not gonna like screen cap it. But he's a solid 1.3 million away. Like it's getting close.
mm-hmm.
1.3 million away from. Oh, never mind.
Mr. Beast actually said this. It was I don't know. I think it's really funny because just a lot of people are talking about T-Series versus PewDiePie, and I think that some people just don't get that it's not the end of the world if he's not the number one. Like I know that's kind of been like his thing to fame, like oh yeah, he's the number one.
Well,
But like it really doesn't change anything. Like it's not like his view count is gonna change if he's not the king of YouTube.
yeah, that's kind of the thing with like Smosh when they got overtaken by PewDiePie because like
Mhm.
they were the number one channel and they were like really popular and people were kind of like kind of shocked that PewDiePie overtook them, but then after like just a little bit it was like everything went back to normal.
Yeah. Like after a while nobody really cared because it's just kind of like the norm. Like people are gonna be shocked for a while. People are gonna be like, oh, like what's PewDiePie gonna do? Is he gonna delete his channel? Obviously not. Like it's not like him not being the number one ruined his life. And he said multiple times that he doesn't want to be the number one YouTuber because whenever there's any drama going on in YouTube or just anywhere, they all look to him. They're all like, "Hey, PewDiePie, like you need to talk about this. Like, oh, you're so important." and he said that he just doesn't want to have that responsibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's face it. Let's face it. He's a 30-year-old Swedish man trying to just do YouTube. He does.
Yeah,
And he's doing
mean,
it quite good.
yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
got a lot of money. Like he's a multi-millionaire. Like he's obviously well set off. It's not like it's gonna be the end of the world and he's gonna have a panic attack.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason that he is like put that ironic diss track on T Series, and then
Yeah.
and then he did say that he doesn't want to be number one, but he doesn't want to lose to T Series, is because he said he wanted to lose to like another creator, like to surpass him. He wants to like have people that actually like do their own creative work and like actually spend time to work on it. But like he doesn't like T Series is a company and they just kind of upload things like
They upload
episodes that
Indian
other
videos.
people, yeah, they upload things that other people made. And that's why he said that's the reason why I don't want them to be number one, because they don't actually create or do anything, even though they get millions and millions just for uploading like TV episodes that the TV producers made.
So I just want to talk about this. T Series has uploaded over 12,000 videos. Like that's a lot. WWE has posted a lot. CBN a lot.
I've uploaded about 20 videos. Is that good enough?
Maybe.
But I'm just looking at top 50 YouTubers, and T Series is up first with an A with let's see here. Let's go to their earnings. Yearly they make about $117 million.
Yeah. $117 million for a company, that's like a full on thing. Like, you know, like you're getting a job and you're like, or like there's like companies, and then there's, you know, like there's Apple, and they actually make like iPhones and create them and mass produce them and sell them to people. You know, things that people actually like. And then there's just like T Series that's just like breastfeeding these episodes, and they're not actually doing anything, but they still get millions and millions. Like they're getting Apple for worth money. Not actually, because you know I'm sure Apple makes you know a lot more. But like I don't know. Like what if I wasn't even Indian, but I just created. Well, what if Japanese? It would be called J Series, and I started uploading every anime video. And
That is not
for
what
some
T Series
reason,
means.
somehow,
Joey,
I
Joey,
know.
that's not how it works. You get demonetized really quickly.
I know, but I'd have a lot of fun doing it.
But-
And then everyone in Japan would subscribe to me, and
Oh,
I would
God.
brag for everyone at school.
But anyways,
Don't mind Joey's stories. They're weird.
yeah. Something that someone else that's just here with us said is that we shouldn't really be dissing off T Series because they're actually helping us in the industry, in the entertainment community.
Well,
because
the
of
thing
fact
the
that-
thing is, we're not necessarily dissing them. We're because that's not exactly what we're doing here. We're not dissing. We're talking about. We're giving our opinions. It's not exactly dissing as much as it's just like saying
Yeah.
how we
Well,
feel.
I'm not
And-
disowning them. Like I think that I'm not saying that they don't deserve their money. Like they of course did stuff, but I don't think that they deserve the number one.
Yeah,
rank
and
in all of
it's
YouTube.
it's not like they're not original. It's just that they're not the most original.
Yeah, like I prefer the number one to be a creator, like how it is now, and not have a company be the king of YouTube. Like a
Though-
company
Though
be the top, like the top creator in another company,
though
and like of
let's
course
let
YouTube's perfectly fine with this. Or what's his name? Game Theory.
Matthew
um,
Patrick.
He made a video on why like T Series is blowing up, and that's because India is like a big thing that's coming into YouTube. Like everything, like there's so much Indian things that are just coming to YouTube because the like India is opening up to YouTube, and and YouTube is definitely perfectly fine with this because they don't care like who watches your videos. They just want more people to watch the videos because that's what they do. I mean, they're a company, they're YouTube, and um, like if people watch their videos, then of course the company gets money, and they're totally like down with T series, get like bringing in Indian people watching YouTube because that's how it works.
Though let's just be straight here. If T series, I'd much rather them be number one than like a Vivo channel for music videos, because those happen to
Okay,
be very
yeah,
popular.
okay, yeah, I guess, but like I don't know. If someone like if you know how like T series is obviously going to pass PewDiePie, like it's just
Sadly,
inevitable,
it's
and
inevitable.
like it's just gonna happen. Like I don't know why people keep on saying like, oh yeah, like we you never know until you know. Like it's gonna happen, but like I wonder if like sometime in like a year or so, like another channel is going to like rise up, and they're going to like fight to surpass T series because like I don't know, like there's just so many other creators, and the ones that have the highest now, I don't know, like if I could see them like going all the way up, like skyrocketing, because it's sad to say it, but Smosh, they're like dying because
Well,
back
well,
then when I watched them, they had they just had they were just a couple of like middle schools slash high school kids that were just doing skits. They were just doing funny jokes, and they were just being funny, and that's why they blew up. Like they were so great because they were just generally funny.
well,
But
I
now, like they're not funny anymore because they became a company. They became a brand, and that's what a lot of YouTubers are doing now. They're becoming a brand, and they're just pumping out more content because they just don't want to run out of content. They just keep pumping out more because they want to make more money. And
well,
that's how Smosh turned out to be. Like they got a bunch of and they got I don't know, I think they just got like a bunch of sponsors.
I just hold on real quick. I just want to say it right now. T series is worse than PewDiePie. Don't at me. Excuse me, Avery's.
Who are you talking to, Jack? Avery's not even watching.
I'm literally about to fight this man.
oh, for the record,
I'll hold your
don't
mic
mind
if
our
you do.
friends in the background. We just are doing things. And also,
You
for
know,
another record, Avery is watching.
No, you cannot. Do you know why? Because you're being annoying.
you know why? Because we're not talking about Fortnite. This is a Fortnite free
This is our
podcast.
This
These
is
are
not
Fortnite
Fortnite free.
free.
Don't let Joey
Okay,
try to
yeah,
sway you
fine. We might
otherwise.
talk about it. It's a Pranav free podcast.
It's a don't talk about or why it's a
Yeah.
community in general.
Don't talk about Fortnite unironically.
Yeah, we
Like,
just
talk about it
we
ironically.
just talked about how we don't want Indians surpassing people. Please don't quote me on this. Anyways,
Lord.
back to the topic at hand. So, Smosh, yeah, they were pretty funny. And to be honest,
Fun.
I have watched some of their like newer videos, and I mean the comedy's still there, but it's not as good as it was. And a big factor for them was it's kind of like The Office, like when Michael left, that The Office kind of like went down. Because for Smosh, when Anthony left for Smosh, they kind of went down too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because Anthony was like their main guy, and then he
Yeah.
left.
hmm if we're gonna go to a new topic, do you want to talk about the whole Jake Paul, Shane Dawson incident whole thing?
Ooh, that's a good topic.
That's a good topic that's going on.
Hold up, what?
Yeah.
Jake Paul and Shane Dawson?
Yeah.
Basically,
Shane
Yeah,
Dawson.
Shane Dawson he's making an 8-part video, like
8-part series.
8-part series, and he basically just going into the life of Jake Paul and just like seeing like all the bad that he's done, or like if he's a sociopath. They kind of throw that word around a lot. With the whole sociopath thing, like, oh, is Jake Paul a sociopath? Is he or is he not? But like, I mean, of course, PewDiePie. Of course, it's always PewDiePie because he's the number one. But he made a video, and it was talking about what was it? It was talking about Shane Dawson and how he kind of over exaggerated things just to make the in video interesting. You know, like he just kind of like, I don't know, just kind of freaked out about things like, oh yeah, like 25, like, or like one in every 25 people is a sociopath, which is
Which is
bullcrap.
definitely
It's
not
definitely not
true.
true. That's just bullcrap facts that they're just throwing around. No, it's not. It's 3% of 3% of men and 1% of women. So that's four out of 200, which is less than.
So it's 2%.
2% milk. No. Okay.
Well, but it's also like well, you could say anything as a sociopath. Like, how do you describe, like, what's the line between sociopath and not sociopath? Like,
Um, you
what's that research by?
capture a dead person on camera and don't even
Well,
like.
yeah, we all know that Logan's a sociopath, and he's kind of embraced it. He's like, yeah, sure, like I do some crazy stuff. And
I don't
Logan,
think he's a sociopath.
you know,
No.
well, he made a video talking about Shane Dawson, and I actually generally believe him. Like, or I'm on his side for once, talking about how um he said that he's talking because Shane said that basically there's a clear, like there's a just clear like line between if you're a sociopath and if you're not a sociopath. Like it's not like you're in between. Like there's levels of sociopath. It's like if whether you are or you're not. And he was saying like basically there's a lot more, which I don't believe that because he's saying that like oh everyone's a sociopath because I don't know. It's just like he told things to describe um sociopaths, and literally anyone can be classified as that. Like you need like a more descriptive out of where's the line?
Where's the beef?
Because if you watch the video, he was saying like, oh, a sociopath is a kind of person that drives fast purposely, or like does stuff to get views or to get attention. Like everyone's done that. Like, is it like if you do it, like how often do you have to do it to be classified as a sociopath that does that? Because everyone that drives has sped. Like how often do you have to do it to be classified as someone that oftenly speeds and is a sociopath because you drive fast? Like there needs to be more of a description, and that's the only way if we're gonna find out. Like, oh, is Jake Paul a sociopath? Because a lot of people, like I personally, I generally don't know. He could be, he might not be.
Well,
But you
and
can't just throw out blatant things because that's not going to help you. Like it has to be very specific because then you can tell yes or no.
and another thing is that titles like sociopath are very controversial as to what that means exactly, because like for different people it might mean different things, and like that could affect how someone is seen by their community, by the community around them, or just by
Yeah.
people in general.
Mm, yeah.
And an- another thing
Do
is
one
that
letter.
like if we're going like you like your description of a sociopath was like someone that might speed on purpose or do something crazy for views on YouTube, and that kind of is like accurate towards my perspective, but like that could classify a lot of like people who I wouldn't say are necessarily sociopaths, more just like not even desperate, but more just like
Yeah.
strange YouTubers. And like So sometimes that might affect like people that don't deserve to be called a sociopath, which is very stereotypical almost, and kind of shameful that it's like we're praising someone for something they have done that's not that sometimes is not even that big. And I I just don't know how to like react to that sometimes because like I
Yeah.
I enjoy YouTubers like PewDiePie or Jacksepticeye every now and then, but like the way, but some people might see them as sociopaths, and well, let's stick to that let's stick to that person specifically, not like Jacksepticeye versus Antisepticeye. That's a difference right there.
That's on purpose.
But like, there's always like just a different way can be seen.
Uh-huh.
Anything you have to say about that, Jack?
Not really much, but Avery has a lot to say because she's in a psychology class and she wants to do it.
Right.
So if you want to talk to her, if you want to talk to her about insanity, go ahead.
And I'm
Or
no,
what are we on?
we're not saying people are insane here. We're saying they've
Yeah,
just
no.
done questionable decisions in their lives.
All right, I'm gonna let it go off to Avery now.
Well, being a sociopath isn't necessarily like the worst thing ever. It's just a person. It would be the same as somebody being bipolar or something like that. It's not like they're inherently evil.
Well, that's the thing we're trying
Yeah.
to. That's the thing we're
Like,
kind of trying to say.
I
Like,
totally agree with that. Like, you know, everyone is throwing that term around, and even if Jake Paul is classified as a sociopath, like if they're like, oh yeah, we confirmed it, he's a sociopath, like I feel like everyone's like, like it doesn't really change that much. Like, it's not like he's a murderer or anything. Like he's just kind of like how he was born or raised. Like we all kind of know what goes on in the Paul house. I uh I don't know. I feel like just be like if he is like, oh yeah, he's a sociopath, which they'll probably do. Like I don't know if it could be like because they actually like find out or not I find out like they confront him and he's like, okay, yeah, and Jake Paul is like, oh yeah, fine, I'm a sociopath. But it's not like he's gonna stop getting views. Like people are still gonna watch him. It's not like if you find out about something, then you're suddenly like not gonna like him. Like, um, he'll still be making the same content. And that's just kind of all the people care about. Like, yeah, sure, he might be a sociopath, but if people like watching him, then people like watching him. And he has to be a pretty awful person for you to convince everyone to not watch his content. I feel like a lot of people would just not care.
well, that's again leading to the problem of stuff like monetization and like how the algorithm for getting popular on YouTube might work. If and sometimes it's not even based on like an algorithm or anything. Sometimes it's just dumb luck for like because Jake Paul and Logan Paul were both popular Viners, and because they switched over to YouTube, that's how they got their popularity. But the thing is that they also like switched communities and kind of like got more what's the word I'm looking for? Got more active in
Popularity? Oh,
no
actually.
active in YouTube and that community too, and because like Vine was like a place where you could like literally be a sociopath and it was considered humor, funny, and entertainment.
Yeah.
But like,
Like that was just kind of thing. Like Vine, like or YouTube opens a lot more up to like actually doing like more things, but Vine was just trying to be as funny as possible because that's what it all was. Because you can't say something like sincere or like actually controversial in 7 seconds and still be funny.
Oh no, you definitely can say something controversial and
But you
but
can't
Well,
But you can't have a full-on conversation like you
no,
can
you
in a
can't.
YouTube video.
but YouTube nowadays is people saying, "What can I do to be the craziest so I can be the best?"
Yeah, like back then it was just kind of like, oh yeah, like you would take this video like I'm a giraffe, but now it's like I have to do something funny so that I can, be popular and make money.
Being controversial is what gets you views too.
Like the Jake Paul and Logan Paul and KSI and Deji fight. That was all just about getting popularity because controversy brings popularity. And I don't know if it was rigged or not. Like I don't know. Some people say yes, some people say no. I prefer just to I honestly just don't care. All we know is that it was obviously for controversy and to make money and to get popularity because pay per view. And then there was all this build up, and the entire YouTube community was talking about it because they just exploded with it so much. Like the whole Scarce versus the one other guy, I forgot. But no, like a lot of people, I'm sure probably 50% of the people didn't know like that Scarce and the other guy, was it Minimeter or something? A Scarce and Minimeter were fighting or like having a boxing match until after the fight and you found out that Minimeter won. People were like, wait, Scarce and Minimeter actually fought? Like people they actually had an actual boxing match. And that was because they didn't promote the heck out of it by using even other people's channels and just talking about, oh yeah, like oh this, and have all these conferences about why they hate each other. I don't even know, but that's just kind of how it works, Like and people just do anything just to get popularity and money.
And that's the problem. Like we talked about this earlier with monetization. It's just that people get greedy and people like get desperate, and it comes to the point where like things can't necessarily be like things are taken for granted, and when it like something happens to it, it's like, well, suddenly there's just huge surge in like, I don't know, panic or like just like unsatisfaction.
Yeah, like when something isn't crazy, like doing like some fake prank or like doing some big KSI fight. If you just want to be a normal YouTuber and create something actually, you know, that actually, takes effort to make,
Well,
like
hold up.
actual
I'm
videos.
gonna stop you there.
Then
I don't think there's much a way to say that someone could be a normal YouTuber, because YouTube's
yeah,
kind of based around like how you want to do things.
but like say like if anyone wants to make anything and doesn't want to stir up any trouble, like Vsauce, like he just wants to make philosophy videos, but nobody cares, nobody talks about him except for when he was in the whole thing about meme president meme. um but like nobody really cares because there's no drama, there's no controversy, there's no thing to talk about him other than his videos.
And
And I
that's
guess you watch the videos, but there's nothing to talk about. I'm like, hey, did you watch that one video about colors?
and that's
Well, he had a series that we actually watched in my psych class about what would it was about morality. It was the whole situation where you got a train going down a track and there's five people on one track and one person on the other, and it's heading towards the five people. Would you flip the switch to switch tracks so it kills the one person, or leave it so it kills the five people?
Yeah. And
And
a lot of people, they actually chose to keep it on the 5 track because wasn't it they didn't want to be the cause of the one person's death?
they would be directly correlated to killing somebody.
Yeah. And they just
instead
don't
of-
want to have that guilt on their back.
right. And that's kind of the thing when it comes like going back to what you said about like how something needs to be controversial or kind of dramatic. That's a good example there. And the thing is, like, if you've ever seen or played the game We Are What We Become, like media heavily influences like what is good and what is bad for something, because like media today is like, well, there has to be some sort of drama or like controversy over it, because otherwise it's just not interesting, because apparently peace is not good enough for people. There needs to be some sort
Yeah.
of problem.
Like there always has to be like drama. There always has to be hatred. There always has to be disagreement for it to be interesting. No one can just kind of do their own thing and just create videos. There always has to be like, oh, this person hates this person.
And and that's just the problem, because like, and then when like creators give into what the media says, then like what they do might influence said media, because like they might change the
Mhm.
interest or like affect the people who, because there's the people who shape the media, and then there's the people who just use the media to like look at things or something. That also affects how they see things or how they might do things in their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the problem with YouTube now is they're trying to get the media to notice them. They're doing stuff to be noticed instead of creating content that they want to be creating.
Yeah.
The whole YouTube is an art platform. That's I consider it an art platform because everybody's doing something different. Everyone has their own way of doing videos, and it's a performance art. And just people don't. I can't even form words. Quit laughing at me, Jack, and get Vsauce after. Um, it's nobody's doing it for themselves, or they're doing it. Nobody's doing it for anybody else. They're doing it for themselves, and that's the deal. Because if they're not doing it for everybody else, then nobody's going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Like no one can make wholesome content because you said it was an art platform, and I completely agree with that because it's where you make your own content. And it also, brings the question like, what is art? And I feel like anything can really be art. Like YouTube, just making your videos, like that's your art form. It doesn't matter if it's cringy art or if it's, just cringy YouTube videos. If it's, unless it's like stealing somebody else's video, it's technically art. You can make anything out of it. And people don't really want to make their own art in, you know, you don't really want to make their own art. They just want to create drama and making YouTube videos like, I don't know, just talking bad about someone.
So like what we're
Like
doing.
not a diss track because I guess that's art, but like just talking bad about someone, that's not really art anymore. Like that's not creating something that people enjoy to watch unless they just like the drama about it.
Like there's no self.
Mm-hmm. There's no creativeness. There's just talking bad and why your point is better than the other person's point, even though you both know that you're just that you're just trying to get views. You're just trying to get popularity by doing it.
And on that note, I think I should stop it here before people start questioning why they're watching this. But realistically, we've been doing this for about an hour, and I think it's about time that we kind of stop. So, is there anything you guys want to say right before we go?
Um. Well, I want to say that I just hope that YouTube will go back to its former glory and just, be an actual creator site. And just, I wish YouTube good luck. And I don't want them to, shut down because of it. I want them to change because of it, like actually just become a better site and the creators, like, get better at what they're doing and promote actually good content over, you know, talking bad about someone.
Right. All right. So, thank you, Joey. Thank you, Avery. And thank you, Jack, for all joining me on the podcast today. I will be posting this to my YouTube channel, same as my Twitch tag. Look me up if you want to watch the podcast from there. I'm going to be ending it here, so say goodbye, guys.
Bye bye.
Adios.
All right.
Bro fist.
Have a good day. Have a good night, wherever it is for you. And I'll see you hopefully next week.
In the next video.